Cancer and supplements. There are so many options, but which ones really matter? If you're ready to pick clarity over confusion, this video is for you. Hey, Dr. Amy here. I've spent years helping cancer survivors cut through the noise. In this video, I'm breaking down for you the simple supplements that can truly make a difference in your cancer recovery and remission. If you're wondering where to start when it comes to supplements, this is it. So if you're facing cancer today or supporting a loved one, or even just working really hard to stay cancer-free, this video is for you. The right supplement strategy can support healing, reduce risk, and help you be stronger day after day. So let's make sure you're not missing out. Starting with number 1. Creatine. Now, creatine is one of the most misunderstood supplements in the cancer world. Many cancer survivors avoid it because of fear. The fear that it will fuel cancer growth or that it will harm your kidneys. But the truth is very different. Creatine is one of the most extensively studied supplements on the planet. For decades, scientists have researched it among older adults, athletes, or people with chronic illnesses. The findings have been consistent. Creatine helps maintain lean muscle mass, improves your recovery, boosts your energy, and supports brain health. For cancer survivors navigating muscle loss, chemo brain, or that bone-deep exhaustion, this is perfect. Creatine can be powerful. Here's exactly why. Every cell in your body runs off of a form of energy known as ATP. But ATP gets used up very quickly. And once it's gone, you feel wiped out. Creatine acts like a reserve tank. It recycles ATP so your cells can keep functioning. So whether you're carrying groceries or building lean muscle, or even just focusing or concentrating, it's not just for athletes, it's for anyone who's been under a lot of stress. And that includes cancer survivors. But now the exciting part. A massive study came out that looked at more than 25,000 people. It looked at their creatine intake and their risk of cancer. The results were clear. The higher the creatine intake, the lower the risk of cancer. For every standard increase in creatine, the risk dropped by 5%. This was especially impressive in overweight individuals. The reduction was closer to 8%, and even more impressive in older adults, people over the age of 65. This group has the highest risk of developing cancer, and it saw a risk reduction of 14%. That's pretty striking, but it actually makes a lot of sense. Creatine not only fuels muscle and brain cells, it also supports your immune system and reduces inflammation. In animal research, creatine has been shown to fuel T cells, the types of cells in your body that directly attack tumors. From my perspective as both a cancer thriver and a cancer researcher, this evidence lines up with what I see clinically. When I was diagnosed with stage 3 cancer, the exhaustion was relentless. I thought time would heal my energy, but it didn't. What made the difference was targeted strategies. And creatine is one of those simple and evidence-based approaches. It gives survivors stamina and strength so you can feel like yourself again. Inside the Cancer Freedom Program, I've seen several women start to take creatine consistently day after day and notice marked improvements. It impacts their recovery, their exercise tolerance, and their mental clarity, and this all happens within just a few weeks. But when it comes to safety around creatine, there's a really stubborn myth. The myth is that creatine is going to harm your kidneys. And this has totally and completely been debunked. But what often leads to this confusion is the similarity between creatine and creatinine. Creatinine is a waste product that's assessed through your blood work to determine how well your kidneys are functioning. Creatine, on the other hand, is a nutrient used by your body for energy. Supplementing with creatine is different than creatinine. Large, long-term studies have confirmed that supplementing with creatine does not harm kidneys in otherwise healthy individuals. Now, the best form of creatine is creatine monohydrate. You can take a dose between 3 to 5 grams per day, and this will be effective. You don't need a loading dose or complicated timing, just consistency. You mix it with water or tea or add it to a smoothie. Now, while foods like beef or salmon absolutely do provide creatine, to reach therapeutic levels where you'll actually notice a physical difference, this level of creatine typically requires supplementation. But creatine isn't just about lowering your risk of cancer. It's about building strength and energy and endurance, and also regaining that mental clarity so you can truly thrive after cancer. Okay, but moving on to number 2. Vitamin D. Vitamin D is often called the sunshine vitamin, but for cancer survivors, it's so much more. It's a hormone-like nutrient that helps support cellular growth, but it also strengthens your immune system and helps to maintain bone density. Low vitamin D levels are unfortunately incredibly common, especially if you live in more northern climates or climates that get quite cold in the wintertime. But if you have a vitamin D deficiency, this is linked to worse cancer outcomes. In one large study, women with breast cancer who had optimal vitamin D levels were found to be 30% less likely to die from cancer compared to those who had deficient levels. That's not a small difference. That's a life-changing outcome. During my own cancer diagnosis and recovery, I discovered that my vitamin D levels were low, despite eating foods that were fortified with vitamin D and being outside quite a bit. Once I corrected those levels, I noticed a change in my mood and in my energy. Inside the Cancer Freedom Program, we regularly test for vitamin D. What I've seen again and again is that women who bring their levels into optimal range feel stronger and healthier. They get sick less often, and their blood work reflects better immune resilience. Now, most cancer survivors need supplementation to reach those optimal levels. The optimal dose can vary, but most experts are going to suggest a range between 2,000 and 4,000 international units per day. The key is to test your vitamin D levels and adjust from there. Vitamin D is not just about your bones. It's about giving your body one of the strongest and the most affordable tools to help prevent cancer recurrence. Okay, but on to number 3, vitamin C. Vitamin C is one of the most famous antioxidants, but its role in cancer recovery often gets overlooked. It helps neutralize free radicals and reduce oxidative stress. It also supports the production of collagen and connective tissue. This means better healing, stronger skin, stronger blood vessels, and overall just a more resilient body. For cancer survivors, a vitamin C can boost your immune system and shorten your recovery time. I remember during my own recovery and treatment, just even small cuts would take forever to heal. That's when I started paying closer attention to vitamin C. Within weeks of consistent supplementation or focusing on increasing vitamin C levels through your food, you'll start to notice a difference. Your appetite will return and you'll start to feel like yourself again. While most people can get some vitamin C through their diet, through things like citrus or berries, peppers or broccoli, cancer survivors, they often need more. Supplements can help bridge the gap between safety and effectiveness, but you do have to exercise some caution because vitamin C is not an appropriate supplement to take if you are currently receiving IV chemo treatment. The two actually interact, making the IV chemo treatment potentially less effective. So all of these seem like simple, everyday supplements, but these are actually some of the most effective strategies you can use as a cancer survivor. They support your body when you need it the most. Muscle, energy, immune function, and long-term resilience and health. Now, these supplements aren't experimental or fringe supplements. They're safe. They're well studied, and they truly can strengthen your recovery. They help you go from surviving to thriving. But now that you know the supplements to focus on, the next step is to making sure you have a complete supplement strategy. That's exactly why I've linked up this next video for you here. This is an example here of me walking through step-by-step a supplement review for one of the women that I support inside the Cancer Freedom Program. This will give you insights specific and you can start to apply them to your own supplement strategy. So click the link here and I'll see you in the next video.